Life, much like a sandwich, is an assembly of layers, each adding a unique texture and flavor to the whole. Recently, as I found myself drowning in a sea of tasks, it dawned on me that my old worries seemed to have vanished, at least temporarily. The sheer volume of new work had swallowed them whole. It's like when you take a bite of a sandwich and suddenly realize you've forgotten all about that tiny imperfection in the bread. Accepting the flaws in our sandwich. In our never-ending quest for improvement, we often become hyper-focused on finding flaws. It's like staring at a sandwich for too long, eventually convincing yourself that the bread isn't evenly toasted or the ingredients aren't perfectly layered. Yet, in the grand scheme of things, those tiny imperfections might not matter at all. In fact, the very act of focusing on them can create stress, as if adding unwanted flavors to our sandwich of life. At a certain point, I noticed that when I'm fully engaged in a flurry of new challenges, my brain stops its relentless search for these flaws. This immersion shifts my focus, relegating past worries to the background. It's almost as if by adding more layers, new responsibilities, fresh experiences, I dilute the intensity of those pesky imperfections. Somehow, the sandwich still tastes pretty good, maybe even better than before, because the combination makes every experience possible. The art of running multiple programs. Life is a bit like a computer's operating system. It can run multiple programs simultaneously. We can open new windows, start different processes, and just like that, our focus can shift. When I'm not constantly monitoring the terminal logs of my life for errors, I find more space to explore and engage with new possibilities. However, just like a computer, this can sometimes lead to feeling overwhelmed. I often find myself saying, "I'm tired," or "I can't do this," especially when I face another round of exercise after a day that didn't quite satisfy. But I've come to realize that this is simply part of the system's design. Some people's brains, mine included, are hardwired to keep operating, constantly seeking out issues, whether to fix them or simply to fret over them. The trick I've found is to allow new programs to take the helm and distract from the constant surveillance of flaws. By providing my brain with a variety of tasks, I effectively spread its energies, preventing it from zeroing in on any single imperfection for too long. It's a healthy way to offload some of the stress that's inherent to being perpetually on the lookout for problems. The cleansing power of movement. There's something almost magical about the act of moving your body. Whether it's a brisk walk, a run, or any other form of exercise, physical activity has this uncanny ability to excrete negative energies. For me, immersing myself in movement acts as a reset button. It shifts my focus from the internal to the external, from thoughts to sensations. Exercise interrupts the endless loop of flaw-finding and worry. It momentarily suspends the brain's default setting of overthinking, creating a window for clarity and calm. When I move, I am reminded that life, like a sandwich, often requires a simple layering of new elements to bring about change. For those of us with minds that never seem to rest, who are perpetually wired to seek out the cracks and fissures, it's critical to embrace this physical reset. It's a reminder that flaws, like calories, can be burned away, or at least rendered insignificant, through the act of doing anything, that requires us to be present in the moment. Adding flavors to life's sandwich. The beauty of life's sandwich lies in its potential for variety. Just as a sandwich can handle an array of ingredients, so too can life accommodate a breadth of experiences. By embracing this perspective, we allow ourselves to find fulfillment not in the absence of flaws, but in the richness they add to our existence. As I navigate through my days, juggling new challenges and old habits, I've learned to appreciate the ever-changing combination of elements. The recognition that each new responsibility adds a layer of potential and experience has been liberating. It's as if life's sandwich, with all its imperfect ingredients, is continually evolving, each bite offering a new taste, a new insight. The key is to remember that even when the flavors are unexpected or the balance isn't quite right, there's always the opportunity to add something new, or simply relish the current mix. This realization has helped me embrace the imperfect process, finding joy in the very act of constructing and reconstructing my own unique sandwich. In this way, I've discovered that fulfillment doesn't come from achieving a flawless concoction, but from savoring the journey of creation itself. And much like a well-enjoyed meal, it leaves a lingering sense of contentment, a reminder that life, with all its layers, is meant to be deliciously diverse.